So here is the office. We're inside the office of Five Star. And this is where Howard runs operations from. He watches the scale, everything coming through here. Scale's just outside the window. And they just have a city truck that they're going to load right now. Normally they're not open between Christmas and New Year's, but the city wanted something, so they came here. And again, fairly simple and clean. Got a business bureau, and here's where all the tools are held. And storage shed for some of their equipment. Again, no door, it's just a kind of a roof over area to work from. One of the Bobcats, we've got a pit here. And again, leaky roof here. Again, just a container on the side. Again, need to do all of their stuff. And just more storage on this side. Again, just open lean-to. So it was quasi shop, but really just a covered working area. So here we have the one ton. This is what they use for concrete on snow removal, but mostly is when they're doing their concrete and septic work. And that can go with or without it. It's up to you. There's their storage tanks for on-site fuel. There's a little deer running away. The owner of the property may be interested. There's just a transaction going on right now. He owns the horses. They have the mobile here. And then of course he's got his horses and his house and everything. So I just talked to one of the owners, Peter, and he said they may be prepared to sell the whole thing, the whole property. And again, beautiful horse barn. They raise horses here. He's got a fairly new house. He's only built it 5 years ago. So you might have everything here you need after all in buying the whole property. What happened, it's owned by three people. And one is the father, who's very old, and he's just selling it to his son Doug now. And then the other partner's selling his interest in Doug too. So Doug will be the sole owner in the next little while. And he may be interested, if he can find a replacement property for his horses, buy the whole thing. Okay, so I'm not sure how much you want to see here, but there's of course the tamper. There's screeners with a bucket so they can screen on site. All kinds of buckets here. Of course you can see blades, hose, tillers. Scrap pile. You can see the trailer. Just going back to the truck and trailer. There's one of the loaders, mini excavators. Show the lights on in there. Here's one of the trucks. The International. There's the other 1 ton with the gooseneck. And as I mentioned, they do snow removal. So they are set up at this time for a lot of the snow removal. It's actually quite active form. When we do get snow, of course, you know, we get a lot of it, typically. And they need to clean it out right away because it's very wet. So there's the tandem axle trailer. Another one of the trucks. I'll come and take pictures of all of this too. That's the Mac. There's the Western Star. And there's Peterbilt. Another utility trailer that they can haul small loads out with. There's a little grader. Another loader. Drop off fork. There's the tamper. There's the cat they use for leveling. And you'll see I'm coming back with the other loader. Okay, I'm going to walk down the road. So this is of course coming in, he's going to go and weigh him on the scales on the way out. Okay, and you can see the shed and everything. And I'll take video on the way up and I'll walk on the, so you can see the land here. This is the road going through. And this will go back to the storage area. And then it'll also go to the pit. Some low land here. As we can see, water on both sides. Again, just trying to capture all of this on video for you so you can have the, hope this walking while I'm videoing doesn't make you seasick. Almost a little pond here. So as I had mentioned to you, they scrape the topsoil off and then they take away the gravel, harvest the hill. So we have a little bridge here. This is draining that pond right behind. Very beautiful day out here right now. A light drizzle, a little bit of fog. Lots of ponds to capture water. So here's their holding area for other landscape materials. They have all different mulches, different stones. A lot of this is brought in. In fact, this is all brought in just to help the landscaping part of it. Because of course they do a lot of supply for landscaping. And then they bring some specialty products in also. Some that they require to keep dry, which is they have roof for it. As you can see, all the different products here. Coming from Upgrade. Big value here is stones. Stones easily sell for like this for $600 to $1,200 per load. So gathering stones like that is very valuable. There's some salt and some manure soil. Another one of the little excavators. Again, there's the salt for, little bobcat for when they're doing the snow removal. I'll just go back here. Show you the other piles. This is a lot of fill when they are dealing with fill. Depending what project they're working on, they'll bring a lot of it back here because it has good value. They're always selling fill because with the properties here, everyone's needing something for somewhere, and they normally get the fill for free as they're developing a project. So it's their cost of trucking it here, and then they get to resell it, which more than covers their cost of trucking it because they're getting paid for in the first place to remove it. And they find the site and then they resell it. So here's the pups for the other trucks. He said every truck has a pup. Another loading trailer. They will move any of the equipment where they need it. Oops. Including they will move the screener if somebody wants to do some custom screening on their property. So they will move everything. They were just saying how the Mount Washington, which is not too far away, hired them to come and help clean the mountain because 2 winters ago they were getting a foot of snow an hour and they could not keep up with their own equipment. So they got these guys to come in with their loader to help clean. That year they had 167 feet of snow, I think he said, which is not all that uncommon. Mount Washington has typically the deepest snowfall in North America. Again, it's because this is the west coast, we're ocean here. If it isn't rain at a higher elevation, it turns into snow. And the mountain is in a very good spot, and that's actually where a lot of the Olympians train, is at Mount Washington, simply because of its good snow, accessible hill, and being on the west coast where you can have long season training in a warm climate, so they're not worried about freezing as they're training. Typical temperature up in Mount Washington will be -4 or -5, and the snow conditions are always very good. Sometimes it'll turn to rain, but most often it does come down to snow. So you can see some of the reclaimed land here. This pit has been going for, I think it's 40 years. So this is reclaimed farmland. Like I said, here and here. In fact, this whole area was reclaimed. And they reclaim a little every year. I'll show you where they've reclaimed some up ahead. Again, this site must curtail at least half the property. You can see on the boundaries of the property, that's the borderline of the property, so they're not cutting into that for harvesting the hill. And this is what's left. So it would show they've taken about half or 2/3 of the gravel lifespan out of here. Just